how can I ask to step aside for clearer mindset? Good question. I tell you how I do it. This is a very good question because this is also a question that somehow I managed to find along the way, which I'm like super duper happy about. So what happens is that there are so many aspects of us that are all helping the wholeness of me, help me do, protecting me, guiding me, etc. There are all these different aspects. So whenever I go up and if I know one of these aspects of me is going to tweak, maybe nudge or affect or influence the answer, I would actually ask, there are so many aspects of us. It's like instructing, can you please step aside so I can hear clearly? It's a very firm but polite kind of instruction to the different aspects of myself to step aside. So even as I'm hearing the answer, it's like having that clarity of, this is not your time. You gotta chill, take the back seat. I'm gonna hear from Creator now. Usually they will listen. Either that, or maybe another way that I can say it is that when you have that mindfulness awareness, you have that control or power over the kind of thoughts that come into you. Does that make sense? So it's more like telling consciously yourself in the seventh plane to temporarily set aside. Yes. So you know how whenever we make the command, we would say, it is done, it is done, it is done. Right? Because we are telling your conscious, your subconscious, and your some other self that it is done. Okay, very firmly. So the same, you can actually ask different aspects of yourself to step aside. I started doing that quite a while back. There is somebody I go to quite often for healing, and usually before he channels for me, he would also always, so I asked my ego to step aside, which was like really helpful. And he is a very, very pure channeler. So that is why somehow I also started doing that. 透视. Yeah, you try and see. For me, it works because I'm very, very firm. Okay, I have very, very strong discipline over my thoughts. And also because I had to kind of like fight my lower self or ego self for quite a while before I could get to where I am today. Even now, I'm still like trying to merge, trying to have clarity, like not to get overly affected, get clarity, but still give them power. I guess that's how I would put it. Because you know that our ego selves help us. They help us to achieve. Ego is not bad. Ego helps us achieve, drives us to achieve. It is bad only when it becomes egotism. Before I knew Theta, I used to say, ego self, please step aside. Now it's really like, all the self, please step aside. I just want to hear Creator. So that is also why in mindfulness, somewhere in the middle of my spiritual path, I was into Zen meditation also. So the Zen part, they always say that the mind is a poor master but a very good slave or something like that. Basically what it says is that the mind can act on a lot of things, but it shouldn't be the master. The master should be your higher self or Creator rather than the mind or the ego self.